a lake per se in this area, but every little town had a reservoir, and this was one at the top of the hill. But between that, where the reservoir, and there was a clubhouse and various things to go to, and of course the stables as well. And then between that and then Deer Park, which is at the bottom, because there was a road that went all the way up to the lake. Then that was vineyards. So, but that was soon gone by the time I got to be about 10 years old. It was gone. So there wasn't anything growing there anymore. They were all gone. And so that, and now that property being so expensive, there were people building on it.
It's
So
loaded with houses.
Yeah, it's all built
It really
up,
is.
yeah.
So it, you know,
But you know, the population of Fairfax, we moved here in 71 and it was 7,000 people, and now it's 7,500. So that's not bad.
no.
Because everything was built out, there were
Yeah.
very
There was
few
nothing
empty
left.
lots, no lots left, yeah.
Well, basically, that whole Deer Park area, and there was the hill above it, on the south side of that valley, that was all cottages.
Summer
Summer-
cottages.
Yeah,
summer
Depression
cottages.
period,
Yeah,
and so people just bought up these. The land became very expensive, and but of course the cottages one by one they went. But this it was an interesting period. But that,
Well, it was beautiful. I can see sitting here.
and you know how it's comfortable in
Yes.
here. And
Yes.
it never, I mean, in the summer it'll be 100 degrees outside, and in here it's very comfortable.
These walls are, yeah.
It's the old stucco.
Yep.
Yeah,
That keeps it cool.
plaster, the laughing plaster, everything.
And are there a lot of houses in the area that are old stucco that still remain, or do they have been?
Yeah, not too many. There's one around the corner, that sold last year, and the original owners sold it, and it's as old as our house. I think it was the first house in the subdivision.
when I was growing up, there was a house on the corner. This is a Cypress Street.
Yeah.
Well, that and he was Italian,
Uh-huh.
and when you heard him singing at the top of his lungs, you knew he'd harvest his grapes.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah.
So when we went in Italy, I told the story because everybody had
A little bit.
grapes in their garden,
Yeah.
and they didn't think anything of it. So he just had a little bit more. If anybody wanted to buy it, sure, no problem.
So this was actually a subdivision? This was considered a subdivision?
Yeah.
But the houses were all not of the same, it wasn't like cookie cutter houses. They were.
It was all empty streets. I have a picture somewhere, and it shows how they, from the Historical Society, and how they subdivided the whole thing. All the streets were laid out, and the only houses were that one on Cascade Drive, and then I think this was like about the second or third. There wasn't much here.
Who would have put in the town water then, the reservoir? Would that have been a developer, or would that have been the
Marin
town?
Municipal Water District.
Okay, so the water district was supporting that.
I don't know what they called it before.
It was called the Kent Water District. Kent owned all this
Oh,
property.
right,
That's
yeah.
why Kent Lake was named after him.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so it was a
he
developer.
He was the water guy, and he sold the water to everybody else. Yeah, that's the guy who lives uphill, and puts the dam in and says,
Yeah.
"Now I got the water. You want some?
Right.
Be glad to sell it to you."
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing when it came to, they wanted a trash collection. And so the town fathers wanted, everybody had to put out the trash. And so my mother says, we put everything in the stove. We don't need that. And any garbage goes into the garden.
That's right.
And that takes care of the vegetables. so. she
That's
said-
so, cause
and
that's
then
what I
she
do
said,
now.
well, okay, I'll put out a
Come full
can
circle.
with some-
Yeah, how
Yeah.
interesting.
Everything was used up, and when everything from the night before, go in the soup pot, cause you had soup
Yeah.
every day.
Right.
And then when the chickens got the blanched bones and everything else. Amazing.
Oh,
Yeah. So it wasn't probably this woody, it wasn't this thick, because trees weren't as big, or was it?
no, well, there was a pine tree there and it grew to be 100 feet tall.
Oh my.
And then one day it just turned
Yeah.
brown. It had beetles.
Oh,
So it died like that.
oh.
So we had to take it down and we put these 3 redwood trees and they were this big and we put them in. And now look at
Look
them.
at them.
Now we're thinking, oh, we gotta take
One of them out? Yeah, it's gonna squish the others.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
shame. Oh my god.
Well, they're kind of worrisome though.
Yeah.
Because on the other side of that is my neighbor's pool. So the Campodonicos pool.
Well, thank you so much for
Oh,
sharing.
you're
It's
welcome.
It's so wonderful.
I'm
to
so
have
glad I
you.
was home.
Well, I wish
Yeah.
we could show you Maine, but then you come back again.
They passed through again, and not too far off Route 1.
Your artwork
Yeah.
is wonderful. You're a
Oh,
wonderful
thank you.
artist. I'm in awe. I look at everything going, oh, wow.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Oh, it's so nice.
Yeah. Well, we just love this house. So.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I love the arching.
I know that.
Yeah.
Just that whole sets off that whole space.
Mhm.
I have it like that.
Yeah. Some things you just don't change.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, it has an open airiness about it, so
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
nice feeling to
And
have.
you know, it was great when the kids were little, and now that they're gone, it's a perfect size for a couple.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
It's like, why should we move anyplace else?
No, I don't blame you.
Adorable.
It's,
This is about as close as you can get an open concept is what they use.
Yeah.
in terms of-
Yeah,
Yeah.
That you can get with these houses, because they were compartmentalized.
Right, before we opened that up, the kitchen, but then we thought, oh, we should just do the whole thing, but then we'd have to wreck all this.
No, yeah,
We
that's-
thought,
no, with these
let's
places,
just do this,
You
yeah.
did great, it was perfect.
no, it's just,
Yeah.
it's just the
Yeah.
right amount. I can't
It
imagine
is.
that being closed off. I just can't.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
I think people did think that way.
I felt like a prisoner in the kitchen.
It's like your grandmother's
Yes.
kitchen.
Yeah, a little box.
It's like you went into the kitchen. I mean, you went in there.
Yes.
You didn't, flow into the kitchen. I always, every room is compartmentalized in that house.
It's like the old Victorians, that's the way they built it.
Yeah.
It's a big kitchen.
It was a good sized kitchen, but it was just
Yeah.
that whole idea.
Yep.
Yeah, the flow.
Oh, this is wonderful, I'm so
Well,
glad
please come
we
back
did catch you
anytime you're
home.
in the area.
Yeah, I think
nice
this is
to
my
see you.
last trip north. So I'm 90 now, or will be in a few months, so I figured,
I just turned,
okay, that's it.
70, so,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been living here since I was 25.
Wow.
Yeah.
First house,
Yeah, our only house. Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's
We thought-
something you don't want to give up.
No, we're like, why should we buy bigger and fancier? And this has just worked out great for us.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
You want it for the land. You
Wow.
want it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
At least now they know where it is.
That's right.
Well, and the story behind it, the history. We've always heard the history of it.
Well, the front porch sleeping
Yeah.
arrangements has always intrigued me.
So, yeah. Sorry, Mom.
right
The-
here.
There's a
With
handrail on the
no
left.
screens.
Yeah.
Over here.
Oh, was this on? That was.
Yeah,
I know.
so cute.
That was not.
No, that, yeah.
This is something you put in.
Yeah.
When the-
That's where the bell was. I was like,
Yeah, easier to
oh,
do
that's
that.
so neat. That's very.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're
This was so
welcome.
wonderful.
Oh,
Thank
good.
you for
I'm glad.
letting us
I'm so
invade.